the bigger revelation once again, it feels like I can't get away from this story, that Jack Smith, who he was looking into, now expands even further. Sure, first it was people directly involved with President Trump. Then it was people that kind of felt like on the outskirts. Then it was senators, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, all these names that started coming up saying, hey, I want their phone records. You know, the people like Marsha Blackburn. That all was happening. Then now, as we have seen more and more information come out about this investigation, it now moves to the media. And of course, when you look at the media, the majority of these are conservative-leaning outlets, you would say. So you have companies such as CBS, communications with those. You're also seeing communications with Fox News, with Fox Business, with Newsmax, with Sinclair, and with others. That's according to Chuck Grassley. Okay, those are the names that we just know. Those, and we also know Stephen Miller, Dan Scavino, Jared Kushner, and Laura Trump were also targeted, along with major Republican donors that, again, aren't necessarily named, and that's probably good. This corruption, I mean, how deep does this go within the ranks, it feels like, of the previous Department of Justice?
Yes, and I think it is deep and wide, because what you have seen is Jack Smith was put in place for Arctic Frost by Chris Wray and Merrick Garland and Lisa Monaco. And on April 4th, 22, they did a memo. Chris Wray wrote a memo to Merrick Garland and Lisa Monaco and said, we think maybe, possibly, there could have been some kind of coordination, some kind of obstruction. We don't know. There could be alleged activity. It was very vague and nebulous.
Yes.
And so then they put Jack Smith in charge of this. Well, then they came along, and there were 9 senators, all Republicans who support Trump, who had valid questions about the outcome of the 2020 election. So then they sent a subpoena over to our wireless companies and pulled our cell phone records. And they got every phone call we either made or received, the duration of the call, the person the call was to or from, and where we were physically standing when the call was either made or received. Very invasive. It's a violation of our First and Fourth Amendment rights. It's a violation of the Speech and Debate Clause, of the Separation of Powers and the Stored Communications Act, and probably a few other things. And as we go through this process and get ready to begin our hearings with Jack Smith and the wireless companies and find out more, I think it's going to be appalling, because think about this. If they were doing this to U.S. senators, what are they doing to the American people that they don't like or that disagree with them?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I was thinking is, as you were saying this, like, if they were willing to do this to you, and you've been, personally targeted, I mean, along with a lot of this group here, and kind of putting into perspective of what that feels like for you, and knowing that they, and someone like you who has been so pushing heavy on child safety and online child safety, even knowing that, people, parents with kids and grandchildren, that this is should be a wake up call. That this kind of information is happening, and that your cell phone provider is willing, some of them did not, to say push back, some did push back on it, is willing to do this. And I guess the answer that a lot of American people are wondering, Senator Blackburn, is, you've been targeted by this. So many of our other friends have been. What does accountability now look like for Jack Smith?
Yes. Well, thank goodness we had Kash Patel move forward and fire everybody involved with the CR-15 unit that worked with Jack Smith. For Jack Smith, we have written a letter to refer him to the Office of Professional Conduct over at the DOJ. And the findings from that would give us the opportunity to move forward with getting him disbarred. We also, as we do our hearings, we think that accountability should be being held accountable to the full extent of the law. not only for Jack Smith, but for these individuals? Would we hope that we see some indictments on this? Yes, because it was criminal and it was a violation of rights. Should there be a trial? Yes, there should be a trial. The American people should not have to worry about their government being weaponized against them because they are from a different political party or have a different opinion.
We've talked about Jack Smith here and now Arctic Frost, where we've seen now more pushes and more releases saying not only was it the people that are around President Trump, then it was like a senator that may have called him once, to now saying that they were looking at the phone records of major media organizations, Fox, CBS even, Sinclair, that it just seems like it keeps going deeper and deeper. As someone who was there, Rick, and someone that you know what it's like on the inside, how you feeling about all this?
First of all, let's just say thank you, Chuck Grassley. If you live in Iowa, if you see Chuck Grassley, you have to thank him for all of his work on this.
Absolutely.
I loved working with him when I was DNI. He is someone who is digging into these issues.
Yeah, no joke.
He doesn't just take the government's word for it, no matter who's in charge. He's the one who unearthed this. And we see Jack Smith is somebody who has literally been politicizing all of these investigations. I hope he's prosecuted.